Three, two, one. We got Pedro Luna, aka Yogi Memes, aka Yoga with Pedro on. How you doing, Pedro?
I'm doing great, man. Thanks so much for having me on the show, Mr. Yogi Bryan. This is an amazing thing that we're doing here. It's like we're back in the Matrix, but different, you know. It's like the
Back in
Matrix
the
Reloaded.
Matrix.
This is the Matrix Reloaded.
It is. I mean, we did the Yogi show, and the Yogi show was awesome. And we no longer are recording episodes for the Yogi show. Just our lives have gone in such different ventures, and it's awesome. It's awesome. I want to know, we're going to start this
Yeah.
off kind of
Oh, here we
random.
go.
I just want to know something about you that most people don't know.
Oh man. Something about me that most people don't know. I'm deathly afraid of being trapped in a dark, hot room. Like deathly afraid of being trapped in a dark room. Like I'm fucking scared.
He's deathly afraid of a dark, hot room, but didn't you start with Bikram yoga?
I did. You know, I think that was part of the thing. It's like I had to keep going there so I could work through the fear. And it worked for a while. Then I started getting scared as shit, man. And I've gone through waves of like, you know, getting scared, going through it, and then coming out. But now it's like I even feel it sometimes, like I'm working through it. But yeah, that's one thing that don't put me in a dark hot room.
What about steam rooms or saunas? Can you do those?
Get me out. Give me the ice bath. Where's Wim Hof when you need him?
Right. Where is the ice bath? Okay, so avoid any rooms that are heated. So
Yeah.
that's why you do yoga on the beach. I see
It
you
is.
doing some yoga on the beach. But tell me about that.
It is. That's why it's open air, man. It's amazing. The beach, man. It's so magical. Like holding space on the beach for people is really beautiful. And it's taught me a few things actually, right? So one, personally, it's taught me the art. Okay, so let me start over. The reason I started doing beach yoga anyway, and I know you can relate to stuff like this, is I shamelessly wanted just to go watch the sunrise on the beach by myself and just watch it. And I was driving 30 minutes to go to the beach. And then I was like, well, I don't know, like I could teach a yoga class while I'm here. I'm kind of stretching and doing my own thing anyway. So that would let's do that. I could do a yoga class too. Then people come and now we're doing yoga and I'm watching the sunrise. They're watching the sunrise. People are happy. And it's, at first I had this vision of the beach, Brian. It's going to be beautiful. The sun comes up. The ocean is calm. There's a little bit of wind, the light breeze. You feel fantastic. And then you get out there, right? And the ocean is crashing waves. It's fucking gray. There's clouds everywhere. It starts raining. It's sideways. Like all these things. I realized the beach yogi, they're the most diehard out of all of them. They're embracing all of the elements. And it's really taught me the art of surrender. Like I have no control over the weather. I have no control. But I know that I'm going to show up unless it's pouring outside. Like I'm going to show up and hold the space best I can. And sometimes like a cloud will pass by, like, because the clouds in Florida are weird, man. They'll pass by in like 2 seconds when there's nothing on the radar and drop a bunch of rain on you, literally just in like 100-foot radius. And then it just goes away. So it's taught me surrender. It's taught me to create community, and it's taught me just to embrace being in the elements and just going with it, going with the flow, man, going with the flow.
Going with the flow. I love that. And surrender. And
yeah,
I love your journey, and I love like all the lessons like you've taught me just with social media and just like bringing me on to some of your mentors. I want the listeners to hear your journey. Like what happened? Like, how did you get into yoga? How did it start?
Yeah. And for the context out there, like I didn't do yoga. Like I guess we all didn't do yoga before we did yoga. That didn't happen. But when I started my yoga practice, I was going through a lot of panic and anxiety from a stressful corporate job. And it wasn't serving me to continue to show up to this job. And I didn't feel good about going there and making a lot of money and putting in my bank account and watching numbers go up. But like inside, I was going down. Like, I was just depleted, no self-care, so I finally found, I found yoga, or yoga found me. And it allowed me to establish this wonderful connection with myself. And like you referred to in the beginning of this conversation, Bikram yoga is where I found myself and landed in the first yoga studio. And I would encourage you, wherever you out there, it doesn't matter what kind of yoga that you're doing. It doesn't matter if you've never done yoga, but you're open to it. Just find yourself on a mat in some class. And if that one's not for you, that doesn't mean that that yoga's not for you, because there's plenty of other yoga out there than just one style. But this one particularly taught me a lot of discipline. And you had to look in the mirror. You've been to Bikram yoga. You know, you're staring at the mirror for 90 minutes with no music. It's you, the mirrors, the teacher's voice, your body, your thoughts, nobody else. You know, there's other people in the room. They're not talking. Nobody's saying anything. They're just trying to survive and make it the hell out of there. So you have to face your own shit. And you have to watch yourself go through it. Like, not only are you dealing with it, you're watching yourself through it. So I learned a lot of lessons through that. And that's what made me want to become a teacher, to share to share the gift of yoga with others, to allow, to hold space for others to grow and to do the inner work, right? And to just to be a leader, right? So that's why I wanted to be a teacher, and I did that. And then it's grown and evolved into so many other things. Like, I never thought I was going to make memes on the internet about yoga. Like, I didn't know that, but it was going to be like, we were just going to make Bikram memes because that's all I really knew at the time. But, you know, there's just so much more memes about other things that can be made, other yoga stuff. And it's led to wonderful friendships, partnerships, relationships, and, you know, finding you, right, and connecting with you, and having great times and conversations about yoga with amazing, inspirational people from all over the world on the Yogi Show. Like, how cool is that, man? It's been a real fun journey. Cool. It's been a real fun journey. And it starts with just allowing the yoga. I think we've talked about this, right? The yoga meets you where you are, right? I was in a dark place. I didn't feel good about myself. My self-esteem was in the toilet. I was anxious. I was panicking. But the yoga was there for me I did the best I could. And then I showed up again to try it again. And when I showed up to try it again, it was a little bit different. And every time you show up on the mat, it's a little bit different, you know, and then you just keep growing and embracing discomfort and moving through the shit, you know, clearing out the clutter.
Keep growing, moving through the shit. And you have like the top meme page, Yogi memes. I mean, you were the OG yoga memer, weren't you?
I was the OG, man. There was one page. There was a page called Yoga Memes, but they suck. Like, they didn't really actually make any memes. I think they were just finding stuff on Etsy or Pinterest or whatever and just like sharing it. But and so I was like, whoa, I want to make we could be my friend and I, Ross, like, we could be the meme guys. You know, nobody else is doing this. Like, we were solving a problem, and the problem was that people were maybe a little bit too serious about their yoga, and we were just trying to share a little bit of lightness around the thing that we were passionate about, which is yoga. And then we did. And then it led to many other things.
Making people laugh and getting that humor with yoga, not taking it so seriously. That's what I love. And I really, really credit my meme journey to you. I mean, I was writing memes before, but then once I won a meme contest on your page, I was like, wow, this might be for me. And then we became friends, and like the rest is history. I mean,
that was it. That was it, man. Goddess pose, slapping the button, goddess pose. I remember the meme. And that was funny. You see like little, you know, and that's what, you know, community. That's so key to all this stuff. Like, I wasn't, when I was making that contest, that meme contest, there's no money in any of this. Right. And so for anyone out there that's listening, it's like, I want to do something and it's fun. And you know, it takes time and energy, but it doesn't lead to dollars or something. Like, disregard all of that. Like, if something sounds like fun and it's creative and it's an art, just do it, because you never know where that thing is going to lead you to. That meme contest led us to a lot of things that maybe we wouldn't have had we not, had I not done something just for fun, to, you know, around the community and connecting with people. I just like connecting with people. I like doing random ass shit with anybody who's crazy enough to sign up with me.
I love that. I'm learning a lot about connection and community from you, because you're an extrovert and I'm an introvert, and just partnering on the Yogi Show. I mean, we really, you know, those two extremes came through, and like, I learned a lot about community. I learned a lot about that. So how like, I guess what's your top 3 tips on building community?
Okay, showing up authentically is number 1, because you don't want to attract anybody that you don't actually want to be around, you know, or that you don't think wants to be around the people that you actually want to be around, you know, so you want to attract like-minded people. So you have to show up authentically, be clear, right? So that's number 1, right? Authentically as yourself. 2 is like being clear on your message. Like, whatever you're sharing, only share, this is just my advice, right? And you could throw in the trash if it's not for you, my friend out there. But I only share from personal experience. I don't share from the we think or we should or you should. Like, it's from I personally did this things, and I'm telling you about it from personal experience, right? Because then people can really relate to you. So when you're building community, people just want to be able to relate and connect. And if you're not sharing from an authentic place, and as you are, then you're not, like, who are you? Like, imposter, you know? So those two things. And then number 3 would just be, do it because you do it because you really want to do it, right? Don't create a community around something that you're really not even passionate about. Like, you know, if you don't really care about whatever, making memes, like, well, then don't create a community about memes. You know, do something that really ignites your fire. Because if you're doing something with the intention of, like, oh, well, there might be some down the road, there's like a treasure chest with some money, you know, well, it's not going to work out so well because you're going to burn out along the way. Like, if you're just doing it because it continues to ignite your fire over and over, like showing up to yoga, you know, offering yoga to your community, teaching classes, people that like yoga and classes are going to keep coming to you, and you're going to keep showing up for them because you really want to do it. You know, so if you're passionate about it, people are going to be passionate about it too and want to show up and support you. They're going to want to support you. They're going to want to hang out with you. They're going to want to be part of your group, and they're going to make friends, and then they're going to tell their friends. And all of a sudden you got people all around the globe that want to connect over something that you're just passionate about.
I love that. I love that. Authenticity,
That's
sharing
clutch,
what you
man.
know,
Yeah.
and just being like true like that. I mean, with the internet, there's just so much out there, and people can tell. People can tell, like, if you're being authentic. People can tell if you're coming from that true space, or if you're just, like, you know, trying to make something up to make the dollars.
Yeah. You know, and it's funny how this conversation keeps going back to, like, or in my mind, you know, for me, it keeps going back to, like, you know, doing something that you love because you love it, right? Not something that sounds like a good business idea or sounds like it could lead to something else in the future, right? Or sounds like it might get me to connect with blah or whatever it is, you know, like doing something because you love it goes along. If you love knitting or you love painting, well, then you should probably go knit and paint. And if you want to be more social, make a Facebook group about it and tell your friends.
Boom. Boom. And what's the number one rule of starting a podcast?
Don't start a fucking podcast. That was Brian and I's rule for a long time. Anybody that would reach out like, hey, the Yogi show is great, I love your show, I'm looking to buy some podcast equipment, you know, what don't just don't. It's too much work, it's too much of a headache. But that goes back to Brian, because I had the intention of, we're going to grow this thing and it's going to make millions of dollars, like, in my head, you know, and like, that wasn't that didn't happen. You know what I mean? This shit is hard, and it's just for fun. Like, go have fun. If you want to do it to have fun and inspire people, or just have fun, fantastic. You know, but having the right intention. But yeah, don't.
Yeah, exactly. You know, having fun, and you know, that's why we had to go our different ways from the Yogi show, just because it wasn't. It was just very, 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 very time consuming, and it was just a lot. It was like a.
Yeah,
it was like an 80-hour job doing something like that.
Crazy, super stressful, managing 2 different time zones, plus a guest time zone, having a guest on, creating content around it, social posting, email list, all these things. And now we're doing our own podcast. We're still connecting, clearly, and we're having our own podcast. Like, I'm just recording this and uploading to the internet. That's about it.
And we're way better friends now. Everybody out there, we are way better friends now, doing our own separate podcasts, separate shows, and just feeding off each other's energy. Tell me about your new podcast. I love it, man.
Oh man. The new podcast is awesome. So it's called Small Moments, Big Shifts. And it's like inspiration to live your life to the fullest every day. And noticing when there's like a small moment that occurs in your life that might seem insignificant, but that can actually change and alter the course of your life. Something so simple that sparks a level of awareness within you, something that just kind of, you know, just hits. Like, one example is like, you know, I was walking, that I shared on my podcast, is like, I was walking to the bus stop one day, taking my daughter there. I had forgot my phone at home, and I was just holding her hand, walking her to the bus stop. And I was just being present with her until the bus came. And then I walked back, totally present. And I said, well, that was a small moment that I will remember. And this was 2 years ago, maybe 3, you know, and I still remember that moment because it was a moment of pure awareness. and being in the moment, and so that little thing, clearly it's made an impact on me. And it was something that's so simple. I walk to the bus stop. Okay. I do that all the time. But that day was a little bit different. That made me be a little bit more present with my family, with my kids, and has led to other things. So yeah, that's the premise behind the show. And it's been fun. I recorded a handful of episodes. I did an Instagram live episode and recorded it at the same time today. And that was fun. And again, I'm just looking to inspire some people. And if someone wants to listen to it, great. If you don't, cool.
It's out there helping people.
I'll
link that up in the description. I love it. I listened to the first episode and I really got a lot of value out of it. Just starting my day, but the night before planning it. I've heard that 3 different places in the universe. So like, that's just the universe telling me. And I'm like, I was going to put it on and I'm like, I've worked with you a lot. I've heard a lot of your stories. So I'm like, it's probably going to be some of the similar, like,
of course.
Am I going to learn anything new? And I really got a lot out of it. And it was just the universe's perfect timing. So everybody listening here, you got to go check out Pedro's new podcast. It's awesome.
All right. Thanks, man. Yeah. And, and I agree with you. Like we've shared a lot of space together, with a lot, connecting. So, but yeah, that's a really big clutch thing. If you can do it, if you can set up your day the night before, man, it really sets you up for success. Huge.
Yes. Yeah, everybody needs to listen. I want to know next is, who are your favorite teachers? They could be either yoga teachers, spiritual gurus, or, 4th grade teacher. Like, just what teachers, like, give me maybe 3 teachers that impacted you.
Well, number one teachers is my children. My children are the best teachers because they're consuming information and stuff from other people and they're sharing it with me. Then maybe things that I don't know about that are up and coming, and that I can just learn from them, and connecting with them at their level. And while I'm learning from, they're teaching me stuff when they think that I'm always teaching them. Like, I'm learning a lot. I'm learning a lot from them. So I'd say my kids are huge teachers for me, honestly, for sure. Yoga teachers, I really enjoy taking classes from MC Yogi, like on pre-recorded stuff. I'd love to join him live. I just never have made the time. Just the timing that he teaches doesn't work for me. But him as a yoga teacher is really great. I don't know, just the messages are good, and they feel good. So MC Yogi's is another one. And then as far as like entrepreneur, obviously I like Gary Vee, but there's this guy named Jesse Itzler, who I follow a lot, and I'm in his mentorship club. I never did like a group coaching or a mentorship or anything like that. I've never tried that until the beginning of this year. He created this thing called the Big Ass Calendar Club. And it's like it was like a whole year, and you have a giant calendar. You map out special days that you wouldn't plan. You plan it all in advance, your whole year in advance. And you have like one giant goal that you want to achieve for the year and all these different steps. And it was just like a mentorship, and that he's meant a lot to me. And it's really been helpful. And just getting clear on like, where am I going? What's the direction my family going? Where do personally, family wise, trips we want to do, things we want to accomplish, goals we want to crush, like that kind of stuff. So it's really been really cool. So I would say Jesse Itzler's been a big influence in my life recently.
I love Jesse Itzler. I need to look him up a little bit more. That year goal thing really sounds totally amazing.
Yeah,
you got to know where you're going. You got to know where you're going.
Yeah, and he calls it a Masogi, right? And so it's like a Japanese term for like basically that, just like a year defining goal. And mine for the year was to do an Olympic distance triathlon. And in January, I had been running I had run sometimes. I've never rode like a road bike or like a tri bike ever. And swimming, forget it. Like, I mean, I swam in a pool or like the water park, but yeah, never. And now I did like a a sprint distance triathlon. And then my Masogi is November 14th. Doing what I put on my calendar. And I remember putting it on there. Like I literally wrote it on there. Like in my head, I'm like, I don't even know what this is. Like, I don't even know like how the hell do you do anything like this? But here we are.
Congrats. Yeah. I love that.
Yeah, man.
Congrats. I've been seeing your pictures on Instagram with your bike and running, and I get sweaty just looking at it. Sitting on
We're
my
out,
couch doing
dude,
yoga in the mornings.
yeah, and it's training in the dark. Brian's inspired me a lot. Everybody out there, Brian has inspired me a lot. I remember, here's a small moment, Brian. You might not even remember this. Small moment, big shift. I was talking to Brian and Taz. This was, I don't know, 2 years ago. And I was talking about, I don't have enough time. Like, I don't have enough time in the morning to do X, Y, or Z. I don't have enough time to sit for 20 minutes in meditation or do yoga or do all these things that I want to do. I don't have the time. And you personally, I don't know what Taz said because he doesn't wake up early, but you just kind of sat there. And I was like, what am I going to wake up at like 4 a.m.? And you just looked at me like, yep. Like, if you want to do it, like, wake up at 4 a.m. Stop fucking complaining about it. And I was like, well, shit, then I'm going to wake up at 4 a.m. Like, if that's what I have to do. And like, that moment changed for me. Like, it wasn't as crazy then. And then I realized, like, wait, it's not that crazy to wake up at 4:30 in the morning or whatever. Like, it's not that, but other people think that that's crazy, but not when you're, and again, this, like, like attracts like. Your tribe, you attract them. And I remember you sharing that with me, like, you got to get up earlier. And I was like, oh, fuck, man. All right. So that made an impact on me. I woke up at 4:45 today to go ride my bike at 5:15 a.m. A friend of mine and I are riding our bike 18 miles at 5:15 in the morning. We got back. It's still pitch black outside. I'm already done. And it's like, I saw 2 other people out there, two, who wants to get after it.
The magic happens in the early morning. I'm telling you, everybody, the magic happens in the early morning. Since I've been waking up, and thank you so much for sharing that story, just because I didn't know, like, it was going to be that impactful. And really waking up early for me has just opened the door, like meditations and just creative ideas, and all my inspiration happens like in that morning time when no one else is awake. Pedro, what's your morning routine look like?
Depends on the day. I'm still flexible. I used to be rigid, Brian, where I'd be like, I have to do, it's this, then this, then this. It depends if I have if I'm doing fitness in the morning, I'm only going to sit for I'm just going to do like a 2-minute breath meditation, and I'm okay. Like, I'm content with that, because I know that this time I want to use to really get my fitness in, my window. If it's a non-fitness day, it's a 10-minute meditation and a morning pages journal entry, so it just kind of depends on the day, but usually it's either 4:45 wake up or 5:15 wake up, one or the other. And it's consistent. Like, I know that like I said, if it's fitness, it's going to be one thing, and if it's not, then it's journaling and meditation, and then some gentle stretching sometimes. But it's not as rigid as I was before. I mean, I think you and I can only speak from a place of but I've been through where it's like, it's got to be, it's water, it's wake up, rise, pee, meditate, that drill, rise, pee, meditate. Yeah. And then you have and then you do a journal, and then you have a gratitude list, and then you have a banana or yoga, whatever, so it's not as rigid in this moment as has been in the past.
That's inspiring, because mine is still so rigid, and I've been trying to break free from being so rigid. Like, I wake up 5 a.m. and it's 5 a.m, morning pages, then it's a 30-minute walk, and then it's like qigong or meditation. It's just so rigid, and for me, it gets boring at times, where I'm just like, oh, I got to do this again. And then I don't really get my inspiration. So I've been changing it up. So I really appreciate that you shared your morning routines not as rigid, because I do feel that. I feel like it needs to have a little change to it, just to maybe change your mind a little bit, to be like, okay, it's something different today, but I'm still working on myself. It's still morning. It's for me, I'm working on myself.
Exactly. Yeah. It's space in it, and giving it space to breathe, because I did morning pages hardcore, 3 pages a day prior to meditation, prior to a 10-minute meditation. I did that for like a year straight. I did that for a year straight, and it was great. It served me very well during that time. And then it just kind of changed, things change, and it's not that doesn't work. It's just that I was like, okay, I'm going to evolve to do this. And then I did that, and that's why, I like doing like the triathlete, the endurance sports. It's, it's not just running or just swimming or just biking. Like, it gives you, there's a variety in it. And so I'm just enjoying the variety, so
I love that.
It'll shift.
That. And I'll throw in the link for morning pages. If everybody's listening huge. And they're like, hey, I have no clue what morning pages is, I'll throw in the link, how I found morning pages and how Pedro found morning pages. So you can check that out there. It is definitely I highly recommend it. It's amazing to do. It's amazing
Yep.
to do. And what practice right now are you working on? Like maybe one practice that's new that you're just working on right now. It could be yoga. It could be, you know, your
Mm.
triathlon that you're doing.
Yeah, I think I'm just trying to get better at, like, it's probably fitness related. You know, I'm just trying to have more stamina. Yeah, I'm trying to have just more endurance. Yeah, just more endurance right now. That's what my
More
work on.
endurance. And what are you doing for that?
Training longer, like all my runs and swimming and biking, just like going a little bit longer, you know, and just like stretching my time, you know, as
Stretching
far
your
as like
time.
when I can, you know, my workouts are longer, you know. We put on a goal, my friend and I, two of my girlfriends and my friend Dane, we have a new thing we put on the calendar for December. We're gonna watch the sunrise in Miami Beach at 6:57 a.m. Sun's gonna come up. We're gonna get on our bikes and we're gonna ride across the state of Florida, 122 miles through the alligators, and arrive in Naples Beach by 4:57 p.m., which is just about 10 hours, and watch the sunset on a bike. We're gonna do that. And
How
so,
cool is that?
you know, so it's like doing stuff like that is really inspiring. And having friends that are like, yeah, I'll fucking do that. Like that's even
Yeah.
crazier, you know? So, and three friends. And so very, very, very excited to do that. And so just like, you know, things like that. It's like I'm putting energy into like creating more space to be able to train for that. Cause that's I've never rode more than 37 miles. So putting you know, an extra 85 on, we'll see what that's like.
You got this, bro. You better vlog it. Vlog it for
Yeah.
YouTube. That'd be
It'll,
cool. I want to watch this. Like really
yeah,
viral.
we'll make some content along the way with it for sure. 100%, you know.
Heck yeah. And one thing that we were talking about, and I love that you're doing this, is you're doing like a mentorship program. And
Yeah,
I
man.
absolutely love that you did this because like the value that you have given to me, like throughout just my practice, like doing the show and just branding
Mhm.
and being a yoga teacher has just been so valuable. So I love that you're doing this. Tell me about your program, your mentorship program, what you're doing.
Yeah, essentially it's to help new yoga teachers, like new and aspiring yoga teachers that are coming out of training, especially these days coming out of online yoga trainings where there's not like really live sessions. A lot of it's pre-recorded, or all of it is pre-recorded. You never really have that teacher interaction. You never really have that business of yoga guidance. And I've done a lot of, I mean, I've been in the yoga space for almost 9 years, and I've entrepreneurially for 6 of those, you know, just like figuring it out. And it's just giving teachers an opportunity to have someone to guide them along the way. Like, how do I teach online classes? How do I teach in public classes? How do I create a community? How do I get paid? You know, how do I do anything? How do I sequence classes appropriately? Like anything and everything is on the table. And it's just allowing for whoever needs support and needs a guidance, that I can hold the space and be there for them. So this mentorship program it's really not, it's no cookie cutter training. It's like, what do you need? How can I help you? Does it a vibrational match? And then let's go, you know, let's do it, you know? So it's been cool. It's been nice connecting with people, like, cause I'm doing this, like you inspired me to do this, like do like a 15-minute call just to see, like, does it work? You know, like what are your goals and how can I support you? And just having like these free sessions. And it's really been great. I've really been enjoying just connecting and learning, like, wow, teacher training's not teaching someone how to do X, Y, or Z. Like that sucks. There's a hole there that needs to be filled. Like teachers should come out and having more confidence. They should be able to sequence the classes more. Should be able to whatever, you know, all different things. So
Yeah,
yeah.
I love that. I love that. And it's worth it. I mean,
Yeah.
anytime you're investing in yourself or investing in education, like you're going to get that money back.
No
You know,
doubt.
that's what I've learned in just yoga teacher training and all the other trainings that I've done. You know, one of my favorite teachers, David Snyder, and he says, you know, you invest in yourself and you make that investment so it's uncomfortable. Like it's an uncomfortable amount of investment. So you actually do it, because anything that I've done that's like, you know, hey, it's pretty cheap. I don't complete it. It's just like
No,
I don't see the value there. So like I
no.
go for big things. Like I go for like, you know, the big training. So I do it, so I complete it. And it's always giving me that return every
Oh,
time, you know, whether it's peace of mind or financial return. I recommend it. So if anybody out there is like just on the verge of starting a yoga teacher training, or you're on the verge of starting whatever training you want to do it 100%.
Yeah.
What do you think about that, Pedro?
I would say do it. And I agree with that. Like if you're, and I would say shift your mindset around where that money's going, right? If it's like, oh, this is an expense, or, oh, this is an investment, because they're both, but either way, the money's coming out of your pocket. But what are you putting into your head? Are you putting it in investment, or are you putting it in expense? How are you putting that in the QuickBooks? If you put it in as an investment, I guarantee you're going to be getting more out of it than as if it was an expense, because the investment is not only, it's in yourself, and the only growth, the real growth, not the only, but the real growth that any of us are going to have on this journey of life, it comes from within. It's coming from inside of here. It is. They can tell you all they want in all these free webinars, training, that you can consume information, but how are you applying it within yourself? And if there's money involved and it's coming out of your bank account and going into somebody else's bank account, I would bet dollars to donuts that you're going to have a little bit more energy on, I'm going to get as much value out of this as I can. And the inner growth is going to appear. It's going to happen. It's going to happen.
It sure will, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls from around the world. It sure will. It sure will. So I know your time is short here. Where can people find you?
So you can check me out on Instagram at Yoga with Pedro, or on my site, yogawithpedro.com, either way. And then the podcast that Brian's going to link. If you want to listen to some more content that I have, messages that I have to share, just search Small Moments, Big Shifts, but Brian will link it in the notes. Small Moments, Big Shifts, man. And that's it. That's what I'm working on.
Love it. Love it. Love it. I'll have everything linked, and send Pedro a message if you have a question or whatnot. Check out his website. I'll link it there. He's very, very awesome with the community. I'm working on it. Thank you, Pedro, for helping me out with that. Thank you so much for coming on this show. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me always, man. I appreciate you too.
You're welcome, man. Love you, bro.
All right. Peace.